Hey guys, I hope you are doing well. My name is Carson. This is Rust Bucket Productions, and in this video I want to give you a breakdown of the expenses that I have incurred on this E39 over the past year. Now I know everybody just wants to know the final number, so here it is. It is 28 hundredths of 1 ton in pennies over the past year is what I've spent. Now you can do the math, or you can just watch the video through and I'll tell you at the end. So like I said, I picked this vehicle up about a year ago in May of 2020, and initially I knew that there were going to be some expenses that I would incur right out of the gate. So these are going to be the sales tax, the registration fee, tagging it, getting the emissions done as I was out bringing it in from Charlotte, North Carolina into Atlanta, Georgia. So I knew these were all expenses that I was going to incur. And between paying for all of those and driving it from Charlotte to Atlanta, that was going to be about $210 to $230. And so those were the initial expenses that I knew were going to be there. So that is the first thing that I can recommend, is always try and figure out how much the tax is going to be for your vehicle before going to purchase it. That way it gives you an idea of how much you're going to spend in your budget just on the taxes for the vehicle. Next biggest expense that everybody is going to incur is going to be insurance. Now I also have my 99 Toyota 4Runner, so putting this on the insurance, it's listed as a weekend driver. I really don't drive it all that much. It's only been driven about 3,000 miles in the past year. So when it comes to gas, you can multiply it by about 3 to hit the American average in driving around 10,000 miles per year. But this was only $20 a month for insurance. Now this is the minimum coverage, so it's going to vary for everybody based on all different things, whether you have multiple vehicles, what you're using the vehicle for, your location, your driving history. So that's going to change for everybody, but really it probably shouldn't be that expensive if it is an older BMW, or really any older vehicle for that matter. But $240 over the course of the entire year is what I spent for insurance. Now moving on to my next biggest expense is going to be gas. This thing takes 93 octane. Some people just say screw it and they stick in the 87. Some people really don't care and they'll put in diesel. No, I'm just kidding, nobody puts in diesel. But 93 octane, and I spent about $235 in gas. Now I also had two very kind individuals that filled the tank for me, just being nice. So maybe it would be closer to about $280. Now if you were to multiply that by 3 to get the normal year's worth of driving in, you're going to be talking around $700 to $800 depending on gas in your area. But that was really the second biggest expense, and one that everybody is going to go through. Now the next thing is going to be maintenance and repairs. So for me, the first maintenance item that I really took on and the least expensive was the seat twist. If you've owned one of these E39s, or really any BMWs, from the late 90s, early 2000s, you may have dealt with the seat twist. That is when the cables just don't grip the motors anymore inside the seat, and it'll tilt back and it won't go back forward. So I was driving the vehicle with my right shoulder in the back seat and my left shoulder in the driver's seat realm. Now that only costs $5 to repair, with a little bit of heat shrink and a couple of hours to remove the seat and splice those wires with some heat shrink. So that was fairly easy. Moving on to the next repair was going to be the door seals in the back of the vehicle, so also known as the vapor barriers. I had to buy just a little bit of supplies. It was about $12 worth of supplies. That was double-sided tape and some water-resistant silicone to re-secure those vapor barriers on the sheet metal of the door. And now while I was doing the vapor barriers, I also did the right rear window regulator, as that was already failed when I bought the vehicle. That was about $46 and some change to buy that regulator, and then I put it in myself There's actually a video of it, and I put it down in the description if you have the same problem. But moving beyond there, I then had another window regulator go out, and that was my driver's side door, which that's the best window to have down, right? And that was about $36, I believe. And so I replaced that one as well, and then I resealed that door because I still had extra supply. So all of those things were relatively inexpensive to repair. Then moving on to the big repair, and I just came out with this video as well. I'll leave it down in the description if you have to do it, but that was the oil pan gasket. Now, the biggest thing with the oil pan gasket was actually the tools, buying the engine support bar and then the fan clutch tool to remove the fan. That was about $80 worth of the $250 that I had to spend in parts and oil and just supplies for the job. But a lot of it just came from the two tools. But again, if you are willing to do the DIY rather than take it to the shop, you're going to be saving a lot of money. So that's why I say, you know, it kind of is going to vary with every single person on how much it's going to cost, but I want to give you guys my breakdown. So again, it was about $250 for the oil pan gasket, which really wasn't that bad when the dealership quoted me about $1,400 to do it. Now, if you haven't been tallying it all together as I've been talking through it, don't worry about it. I have a spreadsheet that I made, and in the final cost was $1,032.78. Now, do note that I've got a little thing down there for airbags, and that's because when I did my window regulators, unplugging the side airbags throws the code or the light on the dash, and I called BMW and asked them how much it'd be to get that removed, and they said it'd be about $180 to look through everything and make sure everything is fine before it gets reset. So that will put the expense around $1,200 for an entire year if I was to get that fixed. Now, there's probably another $1,000 that I could throw into the car to make it absolutely perfect, but the way that it sits right now, it runs and drives just fine. You can nitpick any vehicle, especially a 20-year-old vehicle, every single day, and you'll always find somewhere that you could throw a little bit more money. But right now, I'm just enjoying the vehicle. I want to be out on the road rather than in the garage. So $1,000 over the past year has allowed me to do just that. And honestly, the way things are today, I don't even think you can buy a Starbucks coffee for $3. I may be wrong, but with the double pump of the vanilla cream with the extra foam and the almond milk, there's no way in heck you are getting a coffee for $3. So $3 a day for the maintenance and all the expenses on this BMW, hey, I think that that is pretty good. Now, do note, depending on if you're doing the maintenance yourself or you're sending it to the dealer, it's going to be different depending on where you're located. Your insurance is going to be different, your gas is going to be different. Man, if you got this thing out in California or even Alaska, holy cow, you're going to be spending so much on fuel. It is relatively fuel efficient, but the premium is very expensive. So just keep that in mind when you're watching this. You know, this is in Atlanta, so everything is relatively affordable for the time being. But again, you know, $1,000 or $1,200 if you want to include the airbags for 1 year of ownership of this 2002 E39. If you guys have a BMW and you want to list your monthly or even annual costs for your BMW, and you can list the model and everything, put that down in the description. I think that, you know, at least I would find it interesting, and there may be people watching this video that are interested in getting a BMW and aren't really sure what the annual cost is going to be, and it might help them out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. I've been getting eaten by mosquitoes while making this thing, and it would make me feel a little bit better if you guys hit the like button. I hope you guys enjoyed it again, and you know, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Got somebody checking out the Beamer over there.